Hi, everybody. Tom Van Hoy on this week's edition of the Pitt State Softball Insider Show with PSU head coach Elizabeth Economon. Pitt State opened MIAA play last weekend, lost 2 at Northeastern Oklahoma in Tahlequah, 5-4 and 3-2 on Friday, and then lost 2 at Central Oklahoma in Edmond on Saturday, 7-3 and 6-2. 2 MIAA games scheduled at home on Wednesday, 4 and 6 with Lincoln, before playing 6 games at the Missouri Western Tournament in St. Joe. 3 doubleheaders. Friday play Emporia State and Concordia. Saturday is Mankato and Northern State. And then on Sunday, Augustana and St. Cloud. Pitt State now 11-8 on the year, 0-4 in the MIAA. Here's Pitt State softball coach Elizabeth Economon on the play of her team last weekend.
They're both playing really well right now, first of all, and then to go at their place into open conference, on the road, and to have been playing as well as we were, it was kind of a wake-up call for us. They put the ball in play, put a lot of pressure on our defense all weekend, and we didn't take care of the ball as well as I would have liked. So a learning experience for sure, and something that we'll have to get better from.
Yeah, the Northeast games were both one-run games, 5-4 and 3-2, and Samantha Grove in Game 1 pitched well for you. You just came up on the losing side, 6 innings and 5 runs, just 4 hits, couple strikeouts, but walk 7, I guess.
Yeah, she did throw. She got ground balls. We had too many freebies that game. I would call it, whether it would be walk, hit by pitch, error, taking extra bases. So we let them have more than we should have. And then on our offensive side, we didn't capitalize. We had runners on base all day and just couldn't get the big hit when we needed it.
You got after Northeast scored 4 in the bottom of the 5th, a 2-out 3-run double. Let your kids they hung in there and came back, and in the 7th you got 2 runs. Did you have an opportunity when you were down 1 run to get more?
I felt like we should have. Yeah, but that's one of the things that we've done well all year, whether we come up on the winning end or not, is we're able to, if we get down, we're relentless, we're resilient toward the end of the game, and we keep fighting back. I feel like we had plenty of opportunities to get more, and couldn't come through. Whether we had the base runner on and couldn't push him across, or stranded, left runners on base. So we definitely had the opportunities. I wish it would have ended a little bit differently.
How about offensively? You had 10 hits, and looks like you put the ball in play on that game.
We did. We hit the ball hard, and which is something that we've been working on as a team. And so we had a lot of base runners, but we had a couple base running miscues that ran us out of some innings. So we need to get better on the bases. Just being a little more heads up, taking extra bases when they're going to let us. But yeah, to have 10 hits off of what I thought was a pretty decent pitcher, was nice to see. And then she didn't walk too many. She only walked 2 of us. So but we had the base runners on. We just left the majority of them on base.
Yeah, you got a couple of hits from Bailey Letts and Alex Perez, and then 3 RBI from Tiffany Brown. We got a 2-run home run in that Game 1. Game 2, Northeast wins 3-2, and we've talked about how good Samantha Grove's been, and then Haley Sills behind her. Seems like she pitched pretty well. 6 innings, 3 runs, 7 hits, 4 strikeouts, walk 3, but again, just 3 hits offensively in that one for you.
Yeah, she. I was really impressed with her outing, and I wish we could have helped her a little bit more. She's been trying to find her groove a little bit and has been struggling early in games, and so this game she came out, and we scored first, which is always nice. But then she held them off for 4 innings, and then I don't think they scored until the bottom of the 5th, if that's correct. I can't remember. But she did a good job getting the ball in play, getting ground balls. She's getting a few strikeouts. None of our pitchers on staff are big strikeout pitchers. They're more hitting their spots, executing their pitches, and getting the ground balls, which I know we've talked about. But Haley did a good job of getting some free outs for herself, which helps us a lot. So I was really impressed with her outing. I think she deserved a better outcome, and I hope that she can keep this rolling because it was fun to watch.
That puts a premium on defense, though, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, they've learned to come to expect the ball, and which is good. We don't want the pitcher to ever feel like she's alone out there and she has to do it all by herself. So it forces the infield and the outfield to make every play, and and we preach that every day, so they know what to expect. And we did a decent job of playing defense at Northeastern State. I thought we made some really good plays, and then at UCO we had a learning experience. So we had a little eye-opening doubleheader. So hopefully we've seen what we need to improve on that will help us for the rest of the season for sure.
Yeah, at Central Oklahoma, 7-3 and 6-2 losses. I guess that first game just kind of got out of hand. You got down 7-0 in that ball game.
Yeah, they came out early and put the pressure on us immediately. Their top three hitters, 1, 2, 3 in the lineup, are fast. They hit from the left side. They have the ability to bunt, slap, swing away. So they had us guessing from the get-go. So they jumped out in the bottom of the first and put the pressure on immediately. And it was a chance for us to find out what we were made of, really, because this is happening, and I take a look around the infield, and I see freshman behind the plate, freshman at third, freshman at first, sophomore at second, sophomore at short, and I think, well, this is a great opportunity for us because Central Oklahoma is the defending national champ, so they have their game plan. They know what they're doing, and they're very talented. So for us to see that early in the conference season, one, is great. I wish we would have handled it a little bit better, but it was definitely an experience for everybody to go, okay, now I know.
Does Central Oklahoma, as you mentioned, defending national champion, do they have a lot of players back from 1 year ago?
They do have a lot of players back. They have their starting pitcher back, Kaylin Schrock, she's very talented, which is a nice leader for them. They did graduate a couple big hitters, but what they lack in big hitting this year, they make up for in speed. So they definitely put the short game in motion, and it can cause some problems for a lot of defense strategies, I would imagine.
Is she a strikeout pitcher?
She can be. She did to us, I guess I should say. She works hard and fast, and she moves the ball in and out, and then will try to take you way up. So we fell right into her rhythm and let her kind of take control of our offense for the first 4 innings, I would say. About the 5th inning, we started to battle back and stick to our plan and really work the counts and get some free passes and get some base runners on. She's very talented and very committed and very confident, and she's the leader of that ball club. So from a softball perspective, it was fun to watch. I wish that she wasn't our opposition that day, but she definitely did her job on the mound, and I'm looking forward to the chance we get to face her again in the conference tournament.
Have you seen different style, I guess that's appropriate, different styles of pitching so far this year, and then do you have to change your approach depending on what you see from the opposing pitcher?
Well, that's a good question. Kaylin Schrock from UCO is a lefty, and she's more of a power pitcher. Okay. And we haven't seen, through the first 17 games, haven't seen anybody like that, really. A lot of pitchers we face in preseason and pre-conference and even in our conference are a lot alike. I think she's a little bit different than that. So for her to be more power and come from the left side, it's definitely a different look. As far as changing our approach, we don't change our, I guess, mentality. We know what we're trying to accomplish as an offense, as a team. If we are seeing somebody like that who is having success against us, we need to make adjustments in at-bats and from at-bat to at-bat, and we didn't do a very good job of that for the first 4 innings. So I wouldn't necessarily say we want to change our entire approach, but we definitely have to make an adjustment quickly to not fall into her rhythm and to not change the pace of the game based on what she's throwing. We just need to stick to what we do, what we practice, what we preach, and then trust that our hitters are good enough to adjust within an at-bat to maybe lay off the rise ball that she's trying to take you out with, or to hit the pitch early in the count that she's bringing to you. We got in a lot of pitchers' counts, and that makes it tough to be successful. We hit, as I would imagine most teams do, much better in a hitter's count. So we didn't find ourselves in too many of those on Saturday, so I think that made it a little more challenging for us to come back.
Is it that much different to face a left-hander?
Well, that's a good question. I guess it's different for every hitter. it shouldn't be. The ball break a little bit differently. Obviously, her curveball is going to go into a righty as opposed to everybody else will go away from a righty, but her screwball will go away. So it's just a different, her pitches are going to move opposite of what normally, but really, if I know a couple of our kids didn't even know she was left-handed until halfway through the game, so if they're not worried about it, and some people don't want to know, and they just see ball off the hip, and that's all they're looking for. So really, it's all about perspective and how you approach it as a hitter, and every hitter's a little bit different.
Do you have any players that against a left-hander that might turn around and hit right-handed, or is that big a deal in softball?
No, that's not the matchup. Like baseball does, it's not nearly as prominent, or if at all. Our lefties will continue to go left, even off of a left-hander, because that's just the switch hitting is very rare at this point. Because once somebody's on the left side, they're closer to first. They've got 3-step advantage, so they're going to stick to that.
How many players do you have that hit left-handed?
Oh, 6, I think, total.
Okay.
We had in the lineup against UCO, we had 3.
Okay.
And so we have 3 additional lefties.
I was always curious about that. Just when young girls come up playing softball, if you'd like to have them, or if their parents or coaches or whatever turn them around and want them to hit left-handed.
Yeah, it does happen to some hitters, because if they're gifted enough to do it from both sides in softball, there's really no advantage to being a switch hitter who just hit from the left side. And a lot of it happens very frequently in softball that if somebody has a lot of speed, their coaches will turn them around and make them left-handed early and teach them to slap and bunt, because it is so devastating to a team's defense. So it does happen a lot where people get turned around. Typically by the time they get to our level, they've been established on one side or another. It's a tough challenge to change them late in their career. But I certainly am a fan of having the left-handed viewpoint for sure, whether it be speed or power. I think it's good to have a nice mix. It keeps the pitcher changing her zone and changing her perspective, because we have a different look every so often in the lineup. So it just makes it a little more challenging for the pitcher to get in a rhythm.
All right, Game 2, Central Oklahoma won that one 6-2 as well, and Haley Sills got the start, but I think you got to be pretty happy with the way Kylie Harper came in and gave you 3 innings of relief, aren't you?
Yeah, we're very happy. Kylie Harps has been she pitched a little bit for us early, and then hasn't pitched much in the middle. She got sick and took a couple weeks to recover, and then with Sam and Haley throwing as they have been, she hasn't really gotten an opportunity. So the second game at UCO was perfect. I thought Haley threw well. She did a great job of getting the ball in play. We didn't take care of it, like I said, as well as I would have liked. But she certainly did her job. But it got to a point where we needed to change it up. We needed to change something for their offense to slow them down so that we had a chance to come back. And Kylie Harps came in and immediately shut them down. I don't think she gave up any hits in her 3 innings. Actually, I know she didn't. So nothing. She had 1 walk, and I think that was the only base runner. She was dominant, and she was confident, and it was great to see, because we're going to need her moving forward for sure.
All right, as you move forward, you had Lincoln coming up on Wednesday. You have a doubleheader at home, and Lincoln has struggled somewhat this year. What do you know about them, and how important does that become for you after the first 2 doubleheaders on the road? Yeah,
it's, first of all, going to be great to be back home, and the weather's supposed to cooperate, so we'll take that for a change. It is, we'll take advantage of that. They have been struggling. I do know every time we play them, they play us tough. It always seems that they elevate their game and compete with us. So we're certainly not looking at them as a weak opponent by any means. We know they're going to bring their best stuff and make it a challenge for us. I believe it's a good chance for us to get back on track to right the ship, if you will, get us going in the right direction right before we take off for a tough weekend tournament.
Yeah, you're headed up to St. Joe and 3 doubleheaders, Friday, Saturday, Sunday at Missouri Western against Emporia and Concordia. You'll play Mankato State, Northern State, Augustana, and St. Cloud, so I guess you're going to find out how good you are against the Northern Sun, too, right?
Yes, we are. We're going to jump right in. We're excited to go to the tournament, and the weather, as far as I know, is going to be good for that, too. So we're excited about that. But the chance to go up to Missouri Western and play at a good facility and play in-region opponents that are having some success. We're going to play two teams that are ranked in the top 25. So we're certainly not backing down. We know we need to play and perform well against the best in order for us to get better and become the best. So we're going to welcome all that competition and compete every pitch and hopefully have a lot of success.
Now, the Emporia game, non-conference, right?
Correct, yeah. It'll just be a non-conference. So it'll be a chance for us to see what they've got before we actually see what they have.
Well, and the other part about that, as you mentioned, they're in-region games, and these do count. They take people take a look at them at the end of the year, so it would, I guess, to play well, all right?
Yeah. Playing well against in-region opponents is especially ranked and successful opponents will certainly help our strength of schedule and play a big role in the regional rankings that'll come out later in April. So we planned and tried to stack our schedule as best we could with in-region opponents that would help us get to that next level of the postseason.
That's Pitt State softball coach Elizabeth Economon on this week's edition of the PSU Softball Insider Show. This week, 8 games scheduled, starting with 2 conference games on Wednesday at home with Lincoln 4-6. Lincoln comes in 0-6 in conference play, and then play 6 games in St. Joe, the Missouri Western tournament there. Friday, Emporia State and Concordia. On Saturday, it's Mankato and Northern State. Then finish on Sunday with 2 against Augustana and St. Cloud. I'm Tom Van Hoy.